What's going on, people? Welcome to another Emotion Football live stream. My name is Alam, and today we have another ranking stream. This time the rankings for week 7, and I switched things up again for this week because up to this point I was on a run of tiers where I guess I wanted to, like, the tiers weren't necessarily about how good every team is. It was about looking forward, and that was a switch up from what I've been doing with this chart here, which was literally just how do I feel about every team in relation to the other teams. Things are different now. I think this past week actually changed quite a bit for me. So I kind of wanted to take us back here to the very basics of just comparing teams to other teams, because that's what I think is necessary right now. So shout out to everybody in here. I see my dog Jez is in here. Make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We're about to get started. So give me 1 second. All right, so we're going to start with the AFC East as we always do, and things have to be different. Things definitely have to be different because we obviously saw a big upset with the Patriots and the Bills. So here's what I would say. I don't think I'm ready to say that the Patriots are better than the Bills. What I will say is that they have to be close. The Patriots are definitely not a bad team. And those are the big takeaways. As far as everything else goes, yeah, I'm not like, because of the Patriots' strength of schedule. And you know what? I'll look it up here instead of my phone, so you guys can actually see what I'm looking for. Patriots schedule. If you look at the teams that they've beat, the Bills is their first like serious win, right? Because again, could have beat the Steelers. That would have been a better win, but they didn't. Beat the shit out of the Panthers, who are playing well now, but they weren't at that point. Beat the Dolphins, beat the Raiders, right? Not a great team. Not a great set of wins. Hey, good to see you, Sai. Hope you're doing well. But yeah, the Bills was their first serious win. I think the Patriots could be better than the Bills at some point, but for right now, I'm going to put them a little bit below the Bills. What I would say is, though, is that the Patriots clearly have to be better than average, right? Because we're going to say that this line is average. We're going to have to put the Patriots here. We're going to have to put the Bills right here. This is the first time the Patriots have been on the positive side of the rankings. But again, I can't say they're better than Buffalo yet. Miami and okay, so the Jets have to be about as bad can be. So the Jets are actually going to be like bare bones, the bottom. They're worse than I thought any of the, like, I've never actually put a team at the bottom here. They are as bad as it could get. The offense is a mess. The defense is a mess. There's nothing that's not a mess. So they have to be there. Miami, the thing about Miami is I would also say Miami's shit, but it looks like they're playing for their coach, which I find interesting, right? Because I thought that he would be on his way to getting fired, but I wouldn't say that it looks like the players are giving up on the team. Like, it looks like they kind of just, like, when Tua says that they're not showing up to meetings, I don't think that's giving up. I think that's just genuinely them not really knowing what good winning ball looks like. So I'm going to put the Dolphins still pretty low, like not quite as low as the Jets. I'm going to put them one whole category above the Jets. You know what? Maybe a little bit higher. I'm going to put the Dolphins right here. Still very low, but it could be worse. AFC North, I'm going to put the Steelers where the Bills are. I don't think that they have a great win by any means. Actually, hold on. Let me double check that. Let me double check that statement. I would say I don't think I've been moved by anything they've done this year. They've just done a good job to not look shit. And not really get in their own way. So beat the Jets barely, which week 1, so we'll give them a bye, but that's not great. Lost to the Seahawks. Seahawks kind of look like a good team. Beat the Patriots. This is not a good win either. So 2 bad wins to start the year. Beat the Vikings in Ireland with Wentz. Like, that's an okay win. And then the Browns, okay. So, yeah, that's, I guess, where I get the feeling of they don't really. But you know what? I might put them even a little bit lower. I might put them between New England and, yeah, I'm going to put them right between New England and Buffalo. They belong on the good side of things, but I definitely don't think they belong high. Jets are so bad. Jets fans who travel to London, all over my team was begging the Spurs Stadium to be theirs. Jeez, bro, they're internationally ass. Pittsburgh is okay. Can't understand the hype. Yeah, they're only getting hype because of their record, but I agree, they're okay. They're not. I wouldn't say that they're a serious team. They have to show me more offensively and defensively. To be honest, they just have to show me more. Period, for me to take them seriously. So here's what I think. Where I'm gonna put Baltimore, I'm gonna have to explain it. As a 1-5 team, I think they're completely mid. And the reason I say they're completely mid is because we know a healthy Ravens offense is dynamite, and we know their defense is complete ass. So I think the balance of it is mid. Now, obviously, they've lost they've lost a couple games where they played with Cooper Rush. I kind of don't count those when I think about them, but actually no. You know what? They were 1-3 with Lamar. I'm gonna put them below good. Like I'm gonna put them here because the 1-3 should count for something. I agree. So I'm gonna put them a little bit low. The rest of these teams, Bengals and Browns. Bengals definitely putting them low. When I think about the Bengals in relation to the Dolphins, I don't think they should be close to the Dolphins. You know what? I'll put them right behind Baltimore. And again, this is all things considered, right? Like I can't give them the full credit for how good I think they are with Burrow, but they are going to get Burrow back. So it's not like I'm grading the team with Flacco going the rest of the way. So, you know, they had a competitive game against Green Bay. Only chance is a 7 spot, which is very tough. Yeah. They would have to play almost perfect football going forward. Pitt has hype because of their record and their list, but the performances have been high. Yeah, the performances have been very underwhelming. Very underwhelming. But yeah. So we're not gonna put them that high. Cincinnati, I'm gonna put low. Cleveland, I'm gonna put like just a little bit lower than Cincinnati. I mean, Dylan Gabriel doesn't look good. As bad as we think Flacco is, he's still. I mean, he probably was the best quarterback they had. They traded him to Cincinnati, so I'm not going to put Cincy ahead of Cleveland. When I think of Cleveland versus Miami, I mean, we're literally going to see that this week, right? I think Cleveland's a little bit better than Miami. I lied. They should probably be here, just a smidge above Miami, and then I'm going to put Cincinnati right in the middle of Cleveland and Baltimore. So that's how I'm gonna rank this part of the AFC. Okay, Colts. Colts playing pretty good ball, all things considered. Kind of an ugly win against Arizona. They definitely deserve to be above all these teams, I think. So I'm going to put Indy pretty high. How high does it get? This is the highest it can go. I don't think they should be up here. One, because, okay, they're starting to show. So, okay, it's weird. On one hand, I think that you can't really ask for much more from Daniel Jones. So why should they not get credit from the fact that he's playing really well? The reason I'm hesitant about this is because I do feel like the regression is coming. I think their defense had a really bad day. All it took was one injury in the secondary for them to have a really bad day defensively. I think, again, they should be the highest AFC team. But I think this positioning is for a team that you actually look at like a contender. And I think like if I were to try to pick a spot, I would say they're like halfway from Buffalo to contendership. So like right here, they should be between Buffalo and the complete top of the AFC. I think the Colts belong there. I think the thing I like the most about their team is that they don't have a glaring weakness. I like them as a well-rounded team. The question is just how strong are their strengths, but they made a big defensive coaching upgrade with Lou Anarumo, and they don't have any serious weaknesses. So I like where the Colts are at. We'll define how they finish. We can't judge them now. Still questions. Yeah, we still need to see about Daniel Jones. You can't ask more. This is true. This is true. You can't ask for much more from JT either. Okay, now the Jaguars are a funny team. I actually think the Jaguars, they get a lot of takeaways on defense. I think Trevor Lawrence is a problem. Their running game isn't great. I actually think I put them in a good spot. I think they belong where Pittsburgh belongs. I think it's another good team that I have question marks about. It looks like their coaching is really good. I don't even know how much production they've got from their receivers, and they're still in the spot that they're in. Their two losses, I would say, because they lost to Cincinnati, and then who did they lose to? Cincinnati, and then they lost last week to the Seahawks, right? Like the Seahawks are a good team, and then Cincinnati was a crazy loss. So I'm gonna put them where Pittsburgh is at. I think that's a fair place to put the Jaguars. Okay, Tennessee. By the way, we're gonna put Tennessee between Miami and the Jets. I don't think they're as dire as the Jets. But they literally have played worse than Miami. So I have to put Tennessee between the Jets and the Dolphins. And then that leaves us Houston. Houston, where do I like Houston? I kind of want to put them where Baltimore is. I think I'm going to put them where Baltimore is. I think I like them better than Cincinnati. I think, again, this line is supposed to be mid, and I would say that as a team, they're below mid right now. I need more from CJ Stroud. I'm watching. Yes. So the offensive line has been really bad, and a lot of people use this as almost like a easy cover up for any of CJ Stroud's problems. You're right, General. It's Coleridge. You're right. It is Coleridge. Coleridge has to answer for his crimes, man. Not really playing great ball. So this is how I have the AFC. And again, I see 5 teams that are better than mid right now. And those are the 5 teams. And then I see the rest of the conference being below mid. Now we get to the AFC West, which I'm going to start with the Raiders because I want to leave the rest. Because I think the others are a very interesting conversation. I'm going to put the Raiders. I'm going to put them with the Browns. Like the best of this shit bunch right here, the Browns and the Raiders. Definitely going to put them above the Titans. They just beat the Titans. Who else did they beat? They haven't played Cleveland. Yeah, so I'm going to put the Raiders right here. I think that's fair. And then the rest of the AFC. So here's where I think things are interesting. I think the way the Eagles lost to the Giants actually kind of makes the Broncos game against the Eagles look different. So this is the thing. The Broncos crown jewel of the year was I will switch from full dilute plus up top higher than Colts. Hold on. Oh, put us top higher than Colts. Damn. Yeah, I'm good on that, bro. I'm good on that. By the way, it's 12-2 Jays. So while I was setting up the stream, we got a Kirk 3-run homer, and we got another inning of runs. So the baseball game is over, people. But yeah. Where are we? Yeah, so Broncos, right? Week 1, ugly win against Tennessee. Week 2, honestly, this was a good game against the Colts, right? Week 3, they got the last of the Chargers being competitive, but they ultimately lost to the Chargers, right? The Bengals game is barely a thing. The Broncos, it looks like they beat an Eagles team that's in a really bad moment, and then they barely beat the Jets. I kind of don't love how the Broncos have looked as a whole, and if I were to look at them as a team, I feel like I would be putting the Broncos in the Patriots territory right now. I don't think they belong much higher than this. We will win our first NFL championship. Dog, it's called the Super Bowl. They actually used to have NFL championships. It was before the Super Bowl. So, for example, for the longest time, the Eagles had no Super Bowls, but 2 NFL championships. But now they have both. Also, I don't even know how the game ended. You just told me that Xavier Tillman got a game winner. Last 3 Raptors preseason games have come down to game winners. That's crazy. But yeah, man, I'm putting the Patriots in this. The Broncos in this Patriots tier. Yeah, I do think I like the Jaguars better than the Broncos so far. Again, the Giants game against the Eagles really took it took a lot of juice out of the Broncos win against the Eagles. Okay, Chargers. Chargers. I mean, can't say when we have the AFC. Wait, what? What is this a reference to? Okay, Chargers and Chiefs. I gotta figure these teams out. I got to figure these teams out. How do I feel about these teams? Let me look at the Chargers results so far. Los Angeles Chargers. Also, yo, come on, dog. I'm being so nice. Like, I put a 1-5 team as better than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I automatically put them above 6 teams, even though they're 1-5. I'm actually being so nice. The AFC Championship, I didn't even know this existed. But good for you, man. Proud of you. Los Angeles Chargers. Yeah, so they beat their division to start the year. Rough game. Barely beat the Dolphins. Though. Yeah, man, I don't know, man. I think I have to put you guys, because you guys beat the Chiefs, I have to put you guys right above the Broncos. And I think putting you guys in the Jacksonville-Pittsburgh tier makes sense. It's tough because obviously we know that you guys are missing Joe Alt and Mekhi Becton. And with Joe Alt and Mekhi Becton, things would be a little bit different. You're now missing Omarion Hampton. But honestly, you guys should still be better than Miami, like by more than 2 points. You guys should still be more competitive with Washington. So I'm putting them in that tier. Look at this hater. Well, that's not good. Put us above the Colts. I'm not putting you guys as at the top of the AFC. I'm not putting you guys at the top of the AFC. Lamar's putting up, bro. The fact that Lamar's putting up 30 plus is why they're here. If you take Lamar off the Ravens would not be at this point. But I'm giving them credit for the fact that Lamar has their offense looking great. And then the issue just becomes their defense. But that's where they belong right now. The Chiefs. Okay, the Chiefs. I know what they did this last week. I'm going to refresh myself on what the Chiefs did the week before that. Oh, yeah, they lost to the Jaguars after being... Okay, you know what? You guys... To be honest, I'm not going to. I'm really glad I checked this, right? Because I think that there's probably some, like, recent... some recency bias if you just overly fixate on their game against the Lions. And especially in the Lions game, the Lions shot themselves in the foot quite a bit. They still lost to the Jaguars. So I can't really put the Chiefs like I'm comfortable putting the Chiefs literally right here where Buffalo is at. Like, I think these 3 teams should be clustered together. But if anything, when I'm looking at this, I'm thinking I should space this out a little bit more. So I'm going to put Buffalo and Kansas City a little bit higher. And then Pittsburgh, Jacksonville, and the Chargers a little bit higher. Just to, like, I guess, make the space a little bit more logical. But yeah, this is how I would put it. Like, Indy's not above everyone else. L-Stream. Tyler Huntley is Lamar 2.0. Dog, I got some crazy shit in this chat right now. Tyler Huntley is Lamar 2.0 and put the Chargers above the Colts. Hey, bro, Leon, man, bring some sense to the chat, please. They are wilding it out here. It's working right now. Rice is coming back with Brown. We got options. No, here's the thing. Once you get Rice back and we see it happening, then we'll give you more boost. Like, we'll give you a bigger boost. But think about it, bro. Right now, as much of the shit as the Chiefs have been through, I only have one team head and shoulders above them, right? Now, again, I have a bunch of teams close to them because I don't think that they've pulled away from anybody. But, like, put the Ravens above the Broncos? Yo, okay, here's the thing. If your defense plays like they did last week for 2 more weeks, then I'll put them up there. Like, if the defense proves that they are what they showed up as against the Rams, then yeah, then they definitely deserve to be higher. But like off 1 week isn't enough. Okay, we're gonna move to the NFC. You know what's interesting? Okay. Broncos struggled against the Jets. I know. They struggled against more teams too. Us and the Steelers should be on the same level. Okay, I get what you're saying because you guys played each other and saw how that game went. My only thing about that is that, like, okay, what would you say about you guys versus Jacksonville and then you guys versus the Chargers? Would you say you're like, is that more about Pittsburgh being dropped down? Because honestly, I'm down to drop Pittsburgh. I don't know if I'm down to bring up New England though. If we win against that will show me but it's not about winning or losing. It's about how you look when you're winning. Like if the team looks good, then the team looks good. But yeah. I could okay, so then here's where I'm gonna start with the NFC East, right? I think you guys are gonna learn a lot about how I feel about the NFC East. I'm gonna put the Eagles as above mid. I think right now the way we're playing football, the 2 losses I think really change how you look at the 4 wins, right? Because in all of the 4 wins, we were a mixed bag. There was like half a good game and half a bad game. So I think given the fact that we just won a Super Bowl and at that point we were on like a run of being like 20-1, you just give them the benefit of the doubt that the good is gonna outweigh the bad, or like the good is gonna overpower the bad, and at some point they're gonna be the good team that they look like, right? But then the 2 losses against the Giants and the Broncos, I think if anything show you that like you can't just dismiss the bad. So we're gonna start out by putting the Eagles in what I would say is a pretty low tier. Hold on, but there's a lot of questions about the Chiefs. Not for sure, but that's the thing. Like part of the reason why I like doing this, but like there's questions with the Chiefs. There's questions about everyone. If you look at every fan base on the internet, every single fan base is bad. Is mad. There's actually not a lot of happy fan bases out there. Like the closest thing to a happiest fan base, Colts and Buccaneers. That's it. And that's more about them outliving expectations. Outliving. What the fuck does that even mean? About them performing above expectations, right? Because like if the Buccaneers, if they had Super Bowl hopes before the year, I think they might not be as optimistic. If the Colts had Super Bowl hopes before the year, I don't think that they would be optimistic. Because those are 2 teams that didn't really have expectations, the way they're playing excites them. Every single fan base is pissed. Every single fan base looks at their team and sees issues. I'm just going to quickly brush up on the Commanders' schedule real quick to make sure that I'm right about feeling the way I feel. Okay, bad loss against the Bears. Somehow this happened. I don't know how this happened. This is crazy, but I think the Chargers are just in a really bad place. You hung around with the Falcons and the Falcons look decent. Fair enough. Bad Raiders team, you don't get ratings. Lost to the Packers. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, I would say the Commanders. I said put the Browns lower. Don't kill me. I dropped the Steelers. I would put the Eagles on par with New England. The Eagles are on par with New England right now. Okay, we'll drop the Steelers a little bit. Looks like everyone's cool with that. You said drop the Browns lower. Okay, hold on. How much lower do you guys want to drop the Browns though? Because I don't think that they're worse than Miami. And I don't think they're worse than Tennessee. So like, do you guys want to establish some do you guys want to also push those even lower? Because I'm open-minded to them being lower than lower than the Raiders, but I don't think that they should be lower. You're lower than the Dolphins, so then you have Miami winning this week, right? Because that's my thing. I'm not ready to say that they're a lower team than the Dolphins yet. So I guess that's the difference. Browns barely have an offense, but Miami barely has a team. Like every team that's a bad team, these are all barely teams, right? So it's like saying that the Browns barely have an offense is not really saying much at all. But yeah, okay. You know what, man? It's the fucking Browns. Why are we can't be talking this much about the Browns? I'm gonna put Washington right below Philly because the thing about Washington is that as you look at their schedule, they still don't have some of the games that we have. At the end of the day, we beat Tampa Bay fair and square. right? Did we look great against Tampa Bay? No. Did we deserve to lose that game? Absolutely not. We deserve to beat Tampa Bay. That's Tampa Bay's 1L. Our win against Tampa, like our win against the Rams was a fluke. Our win against Tampa wasn't, right? Our win against Tampa is a better game than anything Washington has done this year. So that's why I can't put Washington above Philly. I have to put them a little bit close. Yeah, but so here's the thing. I think that this says more about where the Chargers are at with their injuries, right? Because hold on, the tricky thing about the Chargers is it's like with Baltimore. Like I have to give both those teams higher rankings than how they're playing right now because you know they're missing a lot from injury. So to me, the Chargers, if you look at how they've played, they're on a run of playing like straight ass. I just think that like Baltimore, I think they're going to get much better when they get their players back, right? But like losing out to Washington, losing against Washington, which it wasn't even Washington wasn't even healthy, that shit stinks. Losing to the Giants stinks, right? Like the Chargers are on a run of playing like a little bit ass. And meanwhile, shut the fuck up, but yes, nearly. Right? General is out here telling me that they belong above the Colts. That's a wild guy. Washington on par with Houston. Okay, so you think Washington should be lower? Like you think that they, mind you, in my head, right? This line is the mid line, right? So if you're below this line, you're a little bit below mid. If you're above this line, you're a little bit above mid. I have Washington in my head on the mid line. Like they just look like a mid team to me. Nah, but you know what it is, bro? Genwell, the Eagles are on their way. Washington should be with the Bengals. Damn, you guys don't like Washington at all. You know what? I'm down. I'm down. I'm out here. Ravens think Washington should be with the Bengals. You know what? I'm down to put them a little bit lower. But you know why I don't want to put them lower than the Bengals? Okay, shit. Then what do you guys? How do you guys feel about these teams? Because what I would say about the Giants is that like I would put the Giants here and the Cowboys. Like I would put this cluster here. Maybe that. You know what? Okay. I don't know. Yes, I have the Eagles lower than the Chargers, bro. Like the two losses the last 5 quarters of football we played are really, really bad. Like really bad. Giants 2-1 with Jackson Dart. I hear it, Ravens fan. What I expect to happen to that offense is teams are going to stop being surprised by Jackson Dart. Right now, Jackson Dart is surprising the NFL. Because that's what happens when any rookie quarterback plays for the first time. I think as that changes, that offense gets figured out. Now, what I will say, the rumors are that the Giants are aggressively looking for a wide receiver one. I think that's because they know that they can't live without a wide receiver one. Because once teams figure out what Jackson Dart likes to do, they get him on tape a little bit, they come up with some effective schemes to stop him. Not having Malik Neighbors is going to show. If they get a wide receiver one, maybe I put the Giants higher. But bro, like you guys saw 2023, right? It could happen. You could go to a Super Bowl and then not be good the next year. Fuck Cowboys. I'm put them with the Raiders. What I will say about Dallas though, hold on. Cowboys schedule. Cowboys schedule, right? They have their offensive explosions at home and then against the Jets. For the most part, though, they kind of really suck on the road. Again, the Jets is a crazy outlier. I feel like the Cowboys should be lower. You're right, guys. You know what? I think the Cowboys should. I think the Cowboys. Yo, this shit would break social media. No joke. This shit would break social media. My goodness. The crash outs. Wait, hold on. Are we? You know what though, bro? I still don't like. If I'm just talking about what the Giants being a good football team, nah, I still think it should be like this. I still think it should be. You know what though? No, I think it should maybe be. Fuck. You know what? Nope. I've decided to do this, guys. Because here's what I realized. I don't think these teams should be close to Baltimore, Houston, Washington. Like if I have this as a tier right now, I don't think these teams belong with them. Cowboys and Giants. Yo, see, bro, I fell into this without even looking here. Giants are better than the Cowboys. I just feel like it looks like that right now, bro. I think that feeling is gonna go away pretty quickly, in my opinion. I'm not buying it. What about Devontae Smith? If somebody gets traded, it would be AJ Brown because Devontae is not really the complainer. And then you say Dallas is better than New York. Okay, so here's the thing. Texans should be lower. You know what? Here's the thing. I actually don't even hate this. Like, if you guys think that the Texans should be lower, I'm down. You guys can just let me know. If you guys feel pretty strongly about the fact that Houston should be lower, we can definitely do that. They've only been two bad teams. You know what? Ravens fan, you make a good point, bro. You make a good point. They should be. I'll put them now between Baltimore and Cincinnati. New tier. Yes, put Houston down. Okay. Everybody seems to be pretty strong consensus. I would still put them better than Cincinnati, but you're right. They should probably be lower. Okay. NFC North. Okay, let's start with I'm putting Minnesota in the Washington tier. No, you know what? Yo, you know what I'm falling into? I think Baltimore should be higher. But at the midline. Because I don't think Baltimore should be with Washington or Minnesota, but I think these two teams belong together, and I think they're better than Houston. So I think Bengals are better than the Texans. Interesting call. Vikings mid. Yeah, I would say Vikings are supremely mid. You're giving Ravens too high of a spot. Damn. You guys are tough. Okay, you know what? Fuck it. Ravens go back to this slot. But then if anything, I might put Minnesota a little. Nah. I'm gonna keep this as is. Again, Ravens, you guys play defense and get Lamar back. We'll put you higher. Detroit, I'm gonna say. Here's the thing. I still feel pretty good about Detroit. I think they had a crazy game in Kansas City where they shot themselves in the foot because they have two losses. And honestly, their two losses are against some of the better teams they played, right? Like they lost to the Packers and the Chiefs, and then they beat obviously teams that aren't good as either. Lions schedule. Actually, hold on. I gotta when I look for the Lions' best win. Oh, okay. Well, here's the thing. Their best win is against Baltimore, and the version of Baltimore they played, like the defense they played in Baltimore, that defense was horrible. Like this is a solid win, but it's nothing special. And then hold on, Colts schedule. I'm trying to find the best win here. Motherfucker. Okay. That's not a great win. That's not a great win. That's not a great win. This should have been a good win, right? Fucking AD Mitchell. That's not. Ooh, guys. Okay, I think I might have to drop the Colts a little bit lower. And then I think I'm comfortable putting Indy and Detroit in a similar spot of like good football is being played, but you have to prove it against some better teams at some point. After the bye week, when the rest of it, bro, yeah, their schedule is definitely very winnable. Vikings slightly above Ravens for now. Not gonna lie, Ravens fans not looking good with your defense. Hold on. Who did we get rated by? Because I doubt this influx of people is just me. Who the hell did we get? Oh, Sarcasm City Gaming. Hey, shout out to the Sarcasm citizens. Big up to everybody pouring in from the gaming stream. Appreciate you guys. Make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. This is In Motion Football. Very different football than you guys are probably used to at Sarcasm City. We're ranking football teams. We're going to preview week 7 in the NFL at the end of the stream. But yeah, sit tight, hang out. Cool people are in the chat. And we're going to get back to the rankings. Okay. Chicago. I know that they've been getting wins. I think their win against the Commanders kind of stunk. Like, I think the Commanders did so much dumb shit in that game. I think their win against the Raiders stunk. And then their win against the Cowboys, that kind of stinks too, right? But okay, you beat the Raiders. You beat the. Yeah, I kind of feel like they're just a little bit better than the Cowboys and the Giants. Same spot with the Vikings. Interesting. Interesting. What I was going to say is that I don't know if I was ready for that. I was going to put them just a little bit higher than the Cowboys and the Giants. Let's see what everybody else has to say. But yeah, so just my thing with the Bears is I don't like the quality of their wins. It looks like they're getting better, but I'm not going to give them the benefit of the doubt that they're going to continue getting better, right? Because what has Caleb done? What has the Bears done? What has Ben John? Like nobody there has proven anything to me, so I'm not going to just take for granted that they're going to continue getting better. They've made some strides from the standpoint of I think they're getting better at using DeAndre Swift, and that's an important thing because DeAndre Swift is not like he has a very specific skill set. You can get really bad results out of him or really good results out of him. It entirely depends on how you use him. I know Ravens have easy schedule, but you think it is very difficult with their defense. No, best thing, their schedule does not matter if their defense is ass. We're just gonna have to see how ass their defense is from this point onwards. Because low key, I thought their defense was okay against the Rams. So we're just gonna have to see. Bears below Giants. Jeez. You know what? Okay, no, I still have them there. I still think I have them there. So that's what I'm rolling with. Packers. Honestly, okay. I kind of think the Packers we should revisit the schedule while not forgetting the first 2 weeks, just to contextualize the first 2 weeks. Because I did the Thursday Night Football watch along against the Commanders, and I have some things to say about that, right? This I would say is a bad win against the Bengals, right? Bengals, who are a very lopsided roster without Joe Burrow. Flacco just got traded there 3 days ago. I thought this was supposed to be that wasn't supposed to come down to the last drive, right? Cincinnati made it a 6-point game with like 5 minutes to go. That was not supposed to happen at all. So not great. Tie against the Cowboys, horrible. Loss against the Browns, not good, right? So then you go to these first 2 games, right? They beat the shit out of the Lions. This looked like an amazing win. But in the context of what the Lions look like now, I think they just caught the Lions slipping, right? And then this game against the Commanders, they were really good for 2 quarters. But the back half of that game, they didn't look that good. Like it looked like they had I interpreted it as they're playing with their food, right? They didn't really their offense didn't do anything in the second half. And then their defense, the Commanders were starting to move the ball. So I almost look at the halftime of this game against the Commanders as the turning point in their season. And I don't think that they really played good ball. Like I kind of think that they belong in the same tier as the Eagles at this point. Maybe above actually, right? Because you know what? The same tier. Because bro, the Browns and Cowboys results are rough. Are really rough. Titans should be with the Jets. This is fair. Like I'm down to do this. Like I thought that the thing is like I think Cam Ward is the only difference. No, you know what? I think Cam Ward. Yeah, I think Cam Ward is really the only difference. I was down to let that be a difference. I also don't care enough if this is how you guys feel. Bears are awful with the ball and they gift wins. I will put Green Bay below the Eagles. Ravens fan, were you talking about Green Bay? Were you talking about Green Bay when you said below the Eagles? Okay, because you know what? Okay, if I were to apply the principle of Washington doesn't have a win as good as the Eagles game against the Bucks, neither does Green Bay. So maybe I'm putting Green Bay right here. No, then who are you talking? Oh, you were talking about the Vikings or the Bears? Yeah, who is this comment about? Green Bay below the Eagles. Oh, you're saying lower the Eagles. Oh, okay, you're just trolling. Fair enough. Now, you know what? I'm going to put them just slightly below the Eagles. Where are we at now? Okay, this division, right? Yo, we might have to put Tampa Bay number 1, like just a little bit above Detroit and Indy. Now, I'm gonna look at this schedule to make sure I'm not tripping. Buccaneers, because this is the thing, right? They don't have a lot of great wins, but they don't really have a bad loss. So this win against the Niners, standard win, right? Solid win. Niners roster isn't great, but you didn't really like. They looked in control for a lot of this game. Like I would say a half of football, the win looked comfortable, right? The Seahawks this year are playing decent ball. Like getting in a shootout with all your injuries, solid, right? Lost to the Eagles, whatever. Tight game against the Jets, that's a bad win. Tight game against the Texans, that's a bad win. Tight win against Atlanta, that's okay. Like that's solid if you look at the way Atlanta's playing. So I'll put it this way: like they have a ton of injuries and they don't have a bad game. I think that that's probably better. That's probably better than everybody else. So I have to put Tampa Bay as a little bit better than everyone else. Again, it's not like they're out here just constantly whooping people's ass. Actually, they'd never whoop anyone's ass. And that would be the thing you would want to see from them. But they're a very injured team. So from the standpoint of that, they should be pretty happy with what they have going on. Tampa has to be above all. And that's where they are. Okay. Falcons, I would say, probably belong in this same tier here. Now, what stats people will tell you is that they have the number 2 defense. No, the number 2. They have the number 1 defense and the number 2 offense, or vice versa. But they're statistically playing really well. I don't put a ton of weight into that from the standpoint of like that would suggest that maybe they're one of the best teams in football. That's not the case. What I will say though about these games is it looks like there's one really big anomaly. Like one really, really big anomaly, right? Because you lose a close game against the Bucks, that's fair. They handled Minnesota, that's fair. This result is insane. This is fucking insane. This doesn't make any sense, right? And then you beat the Commanders. Commanders weren't healthy. Like this is maybe their worst win, right? Like this is probably their second worst game and their worst win. But beating the Commanders, I'm not going to make a huge deal, but it's not good. I'm not giving you any credit for it, but I'm not really slandering you for it, right? Jay's game just ended, by the way. 13-4. Let's go. Game 4. Lock in tomorrow. Shares are lock in. You beat the Bills. Like these are there's 2 okay games, 2 good games, and then one what the fuck. Because the game against the Panthers is truly a what the fuck. So again, that game is if I think about them versus the Eagles, this game is like the Eagles Giants game. So it's like those 2 games almost cancel out. I would say they kind of belong with these teams. I agree that. Oh, shout out to let's go. We got a Falcons fan. Hold on, Caden. Are you new? Shout out to you. This is I think our second. I think you're our first Falcons fan in the community. Let us know if you're actually from Atlanta or not. By the way. Oh hell yeah, bro! Appreciate you. Good to see you. You're the community's first Falcons fan. So I was gonna put Atlanta in here with Green Bay and Philly in this tier here. Oh, okay. We're from Atlanta. That's awesome. But yeah, so basically what we do here is like I do a midweek stream where I rank the teams like this every week, and then I do Sunday Night Football every single Sunday, and we talk about the games that happened on Sunday, as well as obviously watching the Sunday Night Football game, and then occasionally Monday night and Thursday night where I can. So shout out to you. Hope to see you in the chat going forward. But that's where I would put the Falcons. And then Panthers, and so the Panthers are in a kind of a I would have to put them better than the Cowboys, Giants, and Bears. They're starting to win games. I don't think that they've had some impressive wins by any means, right? Beating the Cowboys and the Dolphins. You know what? I think that they should probably be where the Bears are. I kind of get the feeling that that's where they belong. Again, I cannot stress how I mentioned this when I talked about the Falcons, right? But their game against Atlanta is truly just a mind-boggling game. Actually, Caden, bro, I would love to hear your explanation of what happened in this game. How did we end up with that 30-0 game? Because when I look at both teams, it's a complete outlier for both these teams, right? Because you want to talk about games, right? You beat what I would say is not a good team. Against the Dolphins, you beat what I would say is not a good team. You got whooped on by the Patriots. Then you lost to Arizona, which I don't think is a good team. And then you kind of got whooped on by the Jaguars in week 1. So you got your ass beat by the good teams you played. You lost to a bad team. You beat, by the way, barely beat, won by field goals. You barely beat some other bad teams. And then what the hell is this 30-0 against Atlanta? Like, what happened? I don't understand. So actually, when I look at these things, this whole set of 4 teams pisses me off because I actually kind of don't know how I feel about all of them, and maybe that's a sign that they all belong in the same tier. But I'm gonna for now put them with Chicago. New Orleans, I'm gonna put them on the tails of New York and Dallas. Now, New York and Dallas. They beat the Giants, but the thing is, bro, that's an outlier game for the Giants if you look at it, right? The Giants beat the Chargers, beat the Eagles. That if you look at it, those two things look more similar than the random loss against the Saints. I don't know what the fuck happened to the Giants in New Orleans, but they just crashed out. I don't think like this thing about the Saints is I don't think that they belong in the shit tier here with New York and Tennessee. They're actually getting some respectable play from Spencer Rattler. Obviously, they're not good. And you know what? Looking at this, maybe they belong with the Raiders and the Browns and the Dolphins. Like, you know, like, yeah, they're definitely not with the Jets and the Titans, though. Offense is a problem. For the New Orleans Saints, of course, bro, the team is a problem. Like, they're not a good team. But my thing is like, hold on. Look at these games. Saints schedule. Look at these games, right? Competitive loss with a team that we've identified as a good team. Competitive, like this game, the Bills scored a touchdown at the very end. This was a competitive loss, right? This somehow they won the game. Ass whooping to Seattle, you can't mistake that, right? Competitive loss against the Niners. Like the thing about the Saints is they're not actually just showing up and getting whooped. Like they're not sure they don't show up and just get their ass beat. You know what? They have like their worst game against Seattle it looks like an outlier for them as well. Like their baseline is actually better than Vegas and the Browns. So that's what I'm gonna say. I don't think the Saints should be as low as those teams. The Saints suck so bad this year. Damn. Okay, but there's that rivalry there. That Falcons Saints rivalry is very real. It's the battle for King of the South. But yeah, Saints are definitely not going to win a ton of games this year. All right. Where am I going to put these teams? So, okay, we can start with Arizona. I kind of think Arizona is the shittest team. No, but fuck, they just had a good week, even though they lost. Damn. Let me look at their schedule to make sure I'm not missing anything. Cardinals schedule. Okay. You put up 400 yards with a backup quarterback, a third string running back, and no Marvin Harrison Jr. against one of the better teams in football. That's a hell of a loss, right? This loss is insane because Tennessee is garbage, right? Competitive with Seattle, who is solid, right? Competitive with a healthier version of the Niners. Barely beat the Panthers, barely beat the Saints. This team, okay, I think I'd have to put them a little bit above the Saints. But I don't feel great about this team. Yeah, I'm going to put them, okay, I'm going to drop the Saints a little bit lower to establish some space. I'm going to put them between the Saints and then the Cowboys-Giants tier. I think that's where they belong. And then the Niners, the thing about the Niners is with all their injuries, I think they belong here. Now, if they were let's say if they were getting Bosa and Warner back in like a month, then maybe I'd have a different outlook. But if you look at those defensive injuries at their two key spots, you look at the fact that it doesn't matter what they do. They are never healthy on offense. Never healthy. Yo, they actually do, bro. They legit do. Big up to Flawless. Appreciate you as always. Yo, okay, so I was watching the Barca Reacts stream at work today, and he was talking about oh, you had me do the playoff preview with a guy. I think his name was Alam, and I was listening to that. I'm like, oh yeah, true. I did stream with this guy. I totally forgot about that. Um, but yeah, that was cool. If you're down to do another NBA season preview stream, I'm down to do it again because that's what that reminded me of. I'm like, oh yeah, I did stream with this guy. That was a cool stream, by the way. Here comes Milk King Flawless. That's hilarious. Okay. Yeah, Niners I'm putting in there. With their injuries, dog, they're never going to get healthy on offense. Their defense is going to be shit. I can't put them with Washington and Minnesota. If you guys care enough, I can put them between Minnesota and this tier. Maybe, but I kind of think they belong here. Seahawks above Jags and Chargers. I kind of like what you're cooking here, by the way. I kind of like what you're cooking, Leon. You know what? We'll get to that. Seahawks above Jags, Chargers. We're about to again. I'm gonna look at their games again. Seahawks schedule, just to make sure I have a whole picture of what's going on with them. Right? Okay. Win against a good team. Tough loss against the team that we've identified as best team in the NFL. Right? But a close game. Close game on the road on Thursday Night Football against a divisional opponent. This doesn't look like a great win, but I'm not going to beat them up too much about it, right? Beat the shit out of a team. Like this score. Oh, fuck, I clicked on it by accident, right? This score line, 2 scores against Pittsburgh. You have to remember, Pittsburgh literally gave them a touchdown. So, but nonetheless, solid win on the road, respectable team, right? And then week 1, this looks like an outlier game, right? It's week 1 against a divisional opponent. This looks like an outlier game. Seattle's games look pretty good. Like their worst games are divisional games in weird spots. Week 1 and on Thursday Night Football on the road, right? If you take away the weird spots, they have pretty good performances. Seahawks, hold on, put the Seahawks lower. They stole Mike McDonald. Niners below the Bears. Okay, hold on. Niners below the Bears? Nah, not yet. Not yet, bro. Not with McCaffrey healthy. McCaffrey goes down and we're plummeting the Niners, but not yet. Seahawks on par with the Eagles? Nah, bro. They look better than the Eagles, bro. They definitely look better than the Eagles. The only question is, and I'm glad that Leon pointed out the AFC teams because I definitely don't think they belong with these teams yet. But I don't think they belong with the Eagles, Packers, Falcons tier yet. If we're looking at the AFC teams, yeah, I think this is the spot. Above Jacksonville and the Chargers, below the Chiefs, the Bills, and the Colts. In theory, they could be better than Buffalo. Again, Buffalo is getting a ton of credit here that they're going to figure out their run defense because they literally have no chance at winning a Super Bowl if they defend the run like this. Like they have 0. So I assume because of how important it is, they'll do something. But it's definitely possible that they don't. And then we have the Rams as the last team. I'm going to make sure I look at their games properly. You know what? I think the Rams have not looked that good this year, right? Hear me out. I don't think Houston's good. So close game against Houston, but it's week 1. So we're going to say that this gives you nothing. Like good or bad, doesn't really give you anything, right? This game was a close game until the very end. The Rams-Titans, like I paid attention to that game. The game was not a 14-point game for much. It was a 14-point game for maybe 5 minutes, right? But okay, week 2, you still beat a bad team. Like, again, I'm going to go ahead and say we probably didn't learn anything, right? They played the Eagles, and honestly, they deserved to win the game. They kind of just fucked it up. Like, they fucked it up. They got pretty unlucky. And then what you would say is like, oh, they deserve to beat the Eagles. That's so good. What we're learning now is that having deserved to beat the Eagles is maybe not the greatest thing in the world, right? So you still lost the game because of your own mistakes, right? Like, it's not like oh, the weather or the referees changed the game. No, your inability to block a field goal changed the game. And it's not like that just goes away, right? Your inability to manage the clock is not going to just go away. So let's say like this is not a great result for them either, right? Then you look at the Colts game. Oddly enough, maybe one of their best games. But it's a game that they deserve to lose, bro. Like they deserve to lose against the Colts. A.D. Mitchell gave them the game by just not being able to hold the football, right? Now, the Colts look like the best team that they've played all year, and they kind of rose up to play the Colts. Like they played probably their best ball, better than any of their first 3 weeks. But they lost the game. But like they should have lost the game. They won the game, fair enough. We'll give them some credit for playing good football against the Colts, right? You lose against a beat-up Niners team with Mac Jones. Now, again, short week against a divisional opponent. What we've seen a lot of this year. Think about Seattle against Arizona, Philly against New York, and now LA against the Niners. Playing a divisional opponent on a short week is not nice. Whatever, though. Again, we still can't give them any credit. And then you play a Ravens team without a quarterback. Look, Ravens fan has been in my chat for a long time, complaining about Ravens quarterbacks that are not Lamar Jackson, right? Now, today he said that Tyler Huntley is Lamar 2.0, but he's a premium troll. Brother, the Ravens quarterbacks are ass. This game should have been more than 17-3, truthfully. So I'm going to go ahead and say that I don't think the Rams have played like phenomenal ball. I just think that they have amazing PR with McVay. I'm going to say the Rams probably are like in and around where the Eagles are. Like that's a fair spot for them, I think. I think this is a respectable cluster of teams in the NFL. This is my rankings going into week 7. I'm going to leave this up here, people. I feel like the AFC needs dropping. Hold on. Wait, like the AFC as a whole compared. So you think the NFC is better than the AFC? Interesting. I think this is about Rams below the Seahawks. I think this is about the Seahawks. We'll see. LeBron is out till mid-November. Yeah, man. Luka's about to have some crazy stat lines. Okay, I'm gonna leave this up here, and we're gonna quickly preview the games, and then I'm gonna get out of here, people. I'm gonna try to limit this to like 15 minutes. But yeah, so tomorrow night we got Steelers favorites by 1.5 at the Bengals. Sorry, not 1.5, it's 4.5. So you got Steelers and Bengals. What I'd say about this game is the fact that two 40-year-old quarterbacks are playing each other is hilarious. I think Flacco's 40 and Aaron Rodgers is 41, so this is the unction. But yeah, that's hilarious. As far as how the game should go, the Steelers probably win a close game, in my opinion, right? Because again, what was I just talking about? Bill, hold on. Before I do this, Bills closer to the Pats, drop the Colts to the Chiefs. Okay, honestly, I'm open-minded to both those things. I would just say, like, I would want to see a little bit more from fair enough. Yeah, he actually did, though. Sai, I just saw this. These aren't bad shouts. I'll keep an eye on these for, hold on. You said, I don't see the Cowboys on the list blocked and reported. You don't see them because they're behind the Giants, because they're kind of where the Giants are, in my humble opinion. That's hilarious that you don't see them. That's actually the funniest way to find out that I don't rate your team, that they're hiding behind the Giants. Don't kill me. But shout out to Karma. Damn. Yo, okay. This is the latest I've ever done this stream because I do this every week. And this is the most bumping the chat has ever been. If a late night stream like this works for you guys, let me know. And I'll do this on a weekly basis, a little bit later than I normally would. But shout out to everybody in here. There's 58 people watching live. Make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Colts are better than the Chiefs right now. No, I agree. Okay, these minor changes, I'm hearing you guys. I will lock in and monitor them for next week, and then we'll revisit all of this next week. But in the meantime, it's 11:15 local time. I got to get up at 6 a.m. I'm going to run through these game previews, and I'm going to see you motherfuckers later. I don't have to get up at 6 a.m. often. I would love to lock in for the rest of this stream because the chat is actually bumping. But it is what it is, people. I got to run through this. Like, I got 15 minutes for you guys. Steelers, Bengals, again, I just talked about how divisional Thursday night games are actually a mess for the better team. I gave you 3 examples: Seahawks, Cardinals, Eagles, Giants, Rams, Niners. So when these 2 teams play, I expect it to be a closer game than it should be. I almost kind of think that the Steelers are going to win by 3, so I should take the Bengals to cover. Now, the Bengals are a very hard team to expect good things for. But again, if you look at the situation, the Bengals look better than we expected with Flacco off like 3 days of being on the Bengals. I expect this to be a very close Pittsburgh win. Next game, Eagles, Vikings. Eagles favorites 1.5 on the road. Now, if we look at this rankings thing here, right, these are teams that are kind of close to each other. The Vikings are at home, and both teams, honestly, are not really playing particularly good basketball. Basketball. Damn, man, it's late. My brain is fried. We're not playing particularly great football. So here's my thing about this game. I kind of think this is going to be a toss-up. I think it'll be close regardless. So I think the 1.5 spread is accurate. When I think about how these teams match up, I actually think that Minnesota's defense is a nightmare for the Eagles offense, right? Because one, Brian Flores doesn't give you predictable defensive plays, period. His calls are never predictable. 2, he's a zone heavy guy, and Hurts tends to struggle against zone-heavy defenses. Here's where the Vikings might fuck themselves over, right? Because the book on Jalen Hurts going into this year was that if you blitz him, he struggles. And that was usually the case. I actually think the Super Bowl last year was when that stopped being the case because he fried the Chiefs' blitzes in the Super Bowl. If you look at what happened this year, Hurts performed pretty well against the blitz. What somebody figured out, and the somebody I think was Tampa Bay in the second half, actually. Tampa Bay in the second half. When you show Jalen Hurts a blitz, but then you back out into like heavy coverages, right? So you put 7 guys on the line of scrimmage and make it look like 7 people are going to get the quarterback, but then only 3 or 4 guys go to the quarterback, and there's a heavy zone, like a zone coverage with a lot of defenders behind a 3-4 man rush. Hurts is going to be looking for his blitz beaters. And when he's looking for his blitz beaters, he's going to either throw into like a defender, not like what he's looking at, panic and start running around. The thing is, it's not smart to blitz Jalen Hurts this year. You should actually just pretend like you're blitzing and then not do it. Now, the thing about Brian Flores is that's not how he calls Minnesota Vikings defenses. It's just not what he does. I think anybody with common sense, because I'm not like an expert by any means. Everything I just told you about Jalen Hurts, every single defensive coordinator in the NFL would know. But it's just not what Brian Flores does, especially as of like he blitzes at a historic rate ever since like his defenses in Minnesota. Yeah. So here's the thing. There's a chance Minnesota messes this up for themselves. I actually think their defense is very well suited to give Philadelphia trouble. On the other side of the ball, we're gonna get healthy because it looks like Quinyon. Yeah, exactly. No, this is it, bro. This is it. It looks like we're gonna get back Quinyon Mitchell and Jalen Carter. So I think our defense is gonna be better. I don't trust the Vikings quarterbacks. Like you're saying, this 200 yards and 3 touchdowns, that would be possible if Quinyon Mitchell wasn't playing. Definitely would be possible. Actually, no, that's not even the biggest factor. If he had a quarterback that could actually get him the ball, it's possible. Also, bro, I just realized this is your icon picture. This is the most fucking shameless thing I've ever seen. This guy has an AI-generated picture of Brock Purdy holding up a Super Bowl. That is not reality because he's never held up a Super Bowl, and he most likely never will. Actually, I'm going to take that a step further. He never will. This guy put an AI-generated, but you know how shameless this is? Hey, but shout out to Brock, though, because... See, committed troll. Shout out to Brock though, bro. He's been on the channel before. This is my guy. I'm treating him like this because this is my guy. Okay, but yeah. So here's the thing. I don't trust either of these teams. It's a 1.5 spread. Give me the Eagles winning the game by 2 points, by literally 2 points. Okay, Rams Jaguars. This game is in London. Shout out to London for actually getting a good game, which is kind of crazy. Like it didn't look like it didn't look like the NFL respected Europe for the longest time because they would just give them trash game after trash game after trash game. But they finally gave the NFL a good one. So for a game like this, I have the Jaguars winning. I think they bounce back after the loss. Because they lost to Seattle. The Rams, I think, again, I don't think that they've been playing really well. Puka Nakua is not healthy anymore. And again, like I think a loss is coming for them, given the fact that they didn't really play well against Baltimore. On the flip side of things, I think Jacksonville, they're going to bounce back after the loss. I think they're healthier, I believe, than the Rams. So give me Jacksonville in a win against the Rams. And obviously the Rams are favorites. So we're taking Jacksonville to cover / I'm picking them to win, so I'm definitely taking them to cover the 3.5 points. Next game we're looking at Patriots at Titans. Patriots and Titans. So I think this game is going to be belt to ass because Mike Vrabel is looking for revenge against Tennessee. Tennessee does not have a real coach. The fake-ass coach they do have is Mike McCoy, and he's easily one of the biggest frauds out there. Shout out to the Raiders and Chargers game. New England is playing good ball. And the thing about New England is, right, like when you think about an early Mike Vrabel team, you might not think a team that could that could actually whoop somebody, but they whooped, what's it called? Whose ass did they beat? They beat somebody's ass. Oh no. I can't believe I have to look it up. I'm slipping. Oh, the Panthers, right? So they beat the Panthers' ass. And here's the thing. Quietly, if they didn't turn it over 5 times, they would have beat the Steelers' ass too, right? So the Patriots actually, they do have blowout capabilities. And I think you see it on like full display against Tennessee because Tennessee is a mess, like I said. And again, Mike Vrabel is coming to hurt the Titans' feelings. What do we got? Devontae Adams should be able to cover. Like it's possible. Like it could happen. He's amazing. But my thing is like if Puka Nakua is not healthy and not as effective as he normally would be, there's a chance that Devontae gets stronger coverages or like more focused coverages, and we'll see how he copes with that. But he's Devontae Adams. Like he's amazing. He could definitely take a game over. Drake May stat pad. This is true. This is absolutely true. The hell? What is the next game? I'm typing in these banners as I do it because I actually did not have time to do this beforehand, which kind of sucks, but we're coping. We're coping, people. Saints at Bears, and the Bears are favorites by 4.5. So this one is kind of like, I think that everything I said about the Saints, right? If you didn't believe me that the Saints are kind of low-key, a bit of a respectable team, let this spread be the indication for you. Because like the Bears have just won 3 games in a row. I don't think that they've looked good, but they've won 3 games in a row. If the Saints were dog shit, this would be this would not be a spread like this. I think the Bears win. Because I think the Saints, I don't see them being able to win on the road. So yeah, I got the Bears winning. I'll say they cover the 4.5. Again, they had their best game of their game against Washington was their best instance of using DeAndre Swift, and I think that that's a positive for them. So I got the Bears winning. Big up to Flawless, by the way. As he said, run up the likes. Make sure you guys sub to the channel. So I'm sure some of you guys from the raid also have no idea what I'm talking about. But if you are a Sarcasm City person, at some point you're going to see me there. It could be a Q&A. It could be a Chelsea show. At some point I will be there. So if you just want to support the family, feel free to run up the likes and subscribe to the channel. All right. Next game. We'll fast and furious through these games. Dolphins Browns. Good God. If you watch this game, get some help. This is a brown paper bag special, right? Both teams, I think are probably, they make it very difficult for their fans to support them in public. Here's the thing. So Ravens fan mentioned that he has the Dolphins better than the Browns. I got the Browns better than the Dolphins because, like, I don't think there's anybody on the Dolphins as good as Myles Garrett. And again, I don't think that the Browns defense is complete shit. They have shit performances in them because guys give up. Guys give up when they don't have help, and they don't have much help. But like Judkins is still effective. Why they threw the ball 58 times against Pittsburgh? Because it was 52 pass attempts, but 6 sacks. Why they threw 58 times against Pittsburgh, I'll never know. But Quinshon Judkins is good, and Myles Garrett is good, and HN is good too. But I just think that the Browns have a little bit more, and they're at home, and they have a lefty pocket passing quarterback with less CTE. So give me the Browns. Next game, Panthers at Jets. So the fact that the Panthers are actually only 1.5 point road favorites is really interesting because everybody knows that the Jets are a mess. Everybody knows the Jets are a mess. And the thing is I think the assumption is that the Panthers aren't that good either. But honestly and truthfully, I expect the Panthers to win by like 7 to 10 points. The Jets came back from London and they didn't even get a bye week. Most teams that go to London get a bye week, right? So, I mean, I'm assuming that that's a thing for a reason. When Tua gets injured, their season isn't for sure because Zach Wilson is the quarterback, bro. He's gonna come in and look even worse than Tua. But yeah, I got the Panthers winning, man. They have a thing going with their ground game. Even if Chuba comes back, like think about where the standard is set. If he comes back and he gets touches, he has to live up to Dowdell's standards. If he doesn't, then Rico gets the snaps. So all things considered, like London is like 6. You know what? This is good context. But the point is like, bro, I don't think it's about the distance. I think it's about the time zones. Like they used to give teams the bye week after the London game consistently. My assumption is because of the time zone change and any jet lag. They don't do that anymore. I guess some people think it's fine. But bro, do I think the Jets can cope with that shit? Do I think the Jets can cope with no? Fuck no. If there's any adverse situation, my assumption is that the Jets can't cope with it. Bro, if it's raining a little bit, my assumption is the Jets can't figure it out. If the wind is just blowing a little bit, like the flag on the field goal post is just swaying a little bit, my assumption is the Jets can't cope with it. So I just don't think I just don't believe in the Jets. I think we'll just say that much. So with that being said, definitely taking the Panthers by more than 1.5 points. What the fuck? Yeah, like I said, I got them winning by 7 to 10 points. Raiders at Chiefs. Raiders at Chiefs. The Chiefs are like 12.5 point favorites, which by the way, I don't have them covering 12.5. I have them winning like by 10. I have them winning comfortably. I do not have them covering 12.5. By the way, this year in the NFL, teams favored by more than 7 points are like 3-13 against the spread. Teams aren't blowing out the teams they're expected to blow out anymore this year. So that's not really a thing. I don't have the Chiefs covering, but I have them winning comfortably. Again, I'm not saying that the Raiders have any chance of winning this game. They have 0 chance of winning this game, in my opinion. I just don't think that the Chiefs give them the belt. Like, I think it's a 10-point game. But yeah, I think like divisional game. Again, the Chiefs had a good game against Detroit, but just before that, they lost to Jacksonville. Like they're still trending upwards, but they're not all the way upwards yet. I got the Chiefs winning this by like 10. Okay, handful of games left. We got Colts and Chargers. No, I lied. First, we have Giants and Broncos. So if you believe any of the Giants hype, I think this is an easy cover, right? Because Broncos by 7.5. Again, they're not really playing great football. Even as is, if you like their team, what you like them for is playing good, steady ball control offense, making big plays when they need to, and then playing good defense. Like that's the Denver you like. There's nobody that would think that Denver is an explosive offense, right? So you talk about them getting a blowout. I like the Giants covering. I have Denver winning, but the Giants covering. So like, give me the Broncos winning the game by like 6 points. But I don't think that this is like a blowout by any means. And if you buy the Giants hype, you might sneakily have the Giants winning this game. I don't buy the Giants hype, so I just have them having it as a respectable loss. But I think the Broncos get Dre Greenlaw back. That should help, but he's only like 1 week into playing football when he's been out for a long time, so that's not great. But yeah, like they played a very the Broncos played a very conservative offensive game against the Jets. They're gonna play as good as they have to offensively. They're not gonna try to run it up on anybody. So I just don't have them beating the Giants, man. I'm sorry. The Giants, thing about what they showed against Philadelphia is that forget the points they scored. They had a couple controlling drives where they just held the ball for 6 minutes. That's how you stay competitive as a football team. So I think the Giants avoid getting blown out, but they lose the game. Colts and Chargers. For the life of me, somebody please explain to me how the Chargers are 1.5 favorites by 1.5. Like, this does not make any sense to me at all. I just want to double check that I'm seeing this right. Fam, the Chargers are favorites by 1.5 against the Colts at home. Here's the thing about the Chargers. They just barely beat the Dolphins. Then before that, they lost to the Commanders. Right? And then before that, they lost to the Giants. They're playing horrendous ball. Now, I know the Colts didn't play that great against the Cardinals, but they still have been playing much better than the Chargers. And then you might say, oh, the Chargers are at home. But the Chargers don't really have a home field advantage, really and truly. So I do not understand how this spread looks like this. Do I expect the Colts to do here? And we are a bit banged up on defense. No, I get that, but I still have you guys aren't even favorites by 1. Like, I think you guys should be at least favorites. I don't expect this to be a 40-6 like they did against the Raiders. I expect this to be like a 7 to 10 point game. I would have the Colts winning in that range. I like the Colts a lot in this matchup. Like, I do not think the Chargers have been playing good football. What I will say, though, is that I felt the same way, by the way, about the Chiefs against the Lions. When I saw that the Chiefs were favorites, I could not believe it. It did not make any sense to me at all. So because that was the case, I just assumed that maybe Vegas knows something, but I still picked the Lions. So this is another instance where this is so confusing to me. Maybe Vegas knows something. But give me the Colts. Next game we're going to look at is Commanders against Cowboys. Commanders 0.5 at Cowboys. And I'm just going to say right now, people, I got the Cowboys winning this game. Why? Because they play considerably better at home than on the road. They've consistently scored points at home. That hasn't quite been consistent on the road. Their defense is ass everywhere they go, right? Everywhere they go, their defense is shit. The thing about the Commanders is they show that they can shoot themselves in the foot. The Commanders do not have a good rushing attack in terms of controlling a game. They can get a big bill play here and there. That's possible. But nah, man. I got the Cowboys winning this game. And I don't know if Karma is still here. Shout out to Karma if Karma is still here. But I got the Cowboys winning this game. Do I have them hidden behind the Giants? Yes. Do I have them lower than the Commanders in the grand scheme of things? Yes. But if I just look at how these two teams are playing right now, I think Dak, especially if they get CD back, I think they're lighting up the Commanders. And I just don't know if the Commanders can keep pace. So give me the Cowboys in this game. Oh, hell yeah. So yeah, give me the Cowboys. See, I don't hate the Cowboys that much. Actually, random fun fact about me. My dad is a big Cowboys fan. And I'm a big Eagles fan. And that typically doesn't go together. So I do have a lot of practice in being diplomatic about the Cowboys. Packers at Cardinals. This one is another one where I think I have the Cardinals covering just because, again, they covered against the Colts in Indy, right? They covered against the Colts in Indy, so I think they can cover against the Packers at home. Now, again, how they covered against the Colts, I'll never understand, right? Backup quarterback, third string running back, no Marvin Harrison. How did they put up 400 yards? I don't know. But They're gonna have to. They're gonna look to do it again. Again, I'm not just basing my pick on the Cardinals covering based on that. I'm also basing it off the fact that the Packers didn't really look that good against the Bengals or any of the teams that they've played since Washington, really. So the Packers they tend to underperform a little bit. The Cardinals, again, they just had like probably their best game they played was against Indy in a loss. It's crazy. So yeah, I'm I said enough of the Colts glaze, but he's just putting his stats in there, man. He's proud. He's how the Eagles get belt to ass by the Giants, bro. It was an act of God, bro. Clearly, the field was cursed. Come on, you have a good father. You just lost your way a little bit. No. My football memories in the last X amount of years and his football memories in the same years would say otherwise. Okay, cool. You guys are talking about referees. It's lit. All right. Remaining games. Oh, Sunday Night Football. Okay, we're into the last 3 games. Thank God. Falcons at Niners. Niners are home point favorites by 2.5. Okay, so Brock Purdy fan. Given that your name is Brock Purdy fan, are you allowed to cheer for Mac Jones, or do you have to sit quietly when he plays well? How does that work? Because I have the Falcons winning this game outright. Yeah, I think they're playing better football than the Niners. I think the Niners have so many injuries that's damn near unfair, but it is what it is. When you step on that football field, there's no excuses. So, your name is Brock Purdy fan, not San Francisco 49ers fan. I do not see that on my screen. I see a Brock Purdy fan, 13, and then a AI generated image of Brock Purdy. So I don't know that about you, brother. I do not know that you cheer for Mac Jones. Man said I want to win. So you want to win at the expense of Brock Purdy getting slandered? That's crazy. But yeah, I got the Falcons. I just think they're playing better football. And again, it's just that the Niners have too many injuries at too many key spots. Maybe things will get better as they get healthy, but I got the Falcons winning this game. And Bijan continues to look sensational in prime time. That's how I have it. Because I think he balled against Minnesota. He balled against who did they play last week? The Bills. I think he's gonna ball out against the Niners as well. So I got that happening. They're dead. Okay, cool. Buccaneers at Lions. Lions 5.5 point home favorites against what we have deemed as the best team in football. Very interesting set of circumstances in this game. I have the Lions winning by like 3 points. So the reason why I have the Lions winning, this is purely like a psychological game for me, right? The Buccaneers winning a lot of close games. They have a lot of injuries. They're going to be without Bucky Irving. I think it catches up to them. I still think they're better than the Lions. The Lions just came off a really bad loss, shot themselves in the foot. Do they have secondary injuries? Yes. Are they going to be missing Brian Branch? Yes. But I just think that this is a game where like one team needs it and the other team simply just does not need it. Like Tampa Bay does not need anything. They're good. Life is good. They have a great record. They're tied for the best record in football. They have a bunch of injuries. They're going to get a bunch of guys back. Their quarterback is an MVP, leading in the MVP race. They just don't need anything. And Detroit kind of does. So I just think Detroit gets it done on a needed basis. But I do think that like Tampa Bay is a phenomenal team. I still think higher of them than Detroit. And I think it's a close game. So give me Detroit by 3. I think that means that, yeah, I have the Bucks covering, but I don't have them winning. Last game of the week, it's not Bengals and Broncos. That's an old banner. Is Texans at Seahawks. And I have the Seahawks winning this. What is the spread? 3.5. 3.5? No way. 3.5? Yeah, I'd easily. So actually, you know what? Shout out to, I forget what his name is, but we have a Texans fan. I think the Texans could probably keep the Seahawks from scoring a lot of points. I agree. I think the Texans defense is literally performing as one of the best defenses in football, right? So I think that's fine. That's all good fun and whatnot, right? But Seahawks are better, bro. Seahawks are better. The Texans offense is a mess. Mike McDonald will have something cooking up, and the Seahawks will win by like 7 points. They're covering the 3.5. I got Seattle winning. So we ranked all the NFL teams. We ripped through every game coming up. I will not be here for Thursday Night Football. The next time you guys see me will be Sunday night for Sunday Night Football. We're going to do Falcons and Niners. We're going to watch that game. We're going to talk about all the football that happened on Sunday. And then we're going to do it all again next week. So shout out to everybody that tuned in. 46 people still watching live. Appreciate all the support from anybody that showed up. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, people. It's very important for anything on YouTube or just any content period. The more you engage with it, the more algorithms pick up that it is good content that should be shared with other people. So if you appreciate what's going on, that's the best way to show your appreciation. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys on Sunday. And as I always end off my streams, I'm going to let Stephen A. Smith outro the stream. But yeah, shout out to you guys.
Y'all take it easy. I'm out. Y'all take it easy. I'm out.